Well, hello. Are you ready for the big one? Because we're about to do our big one. It is time for the magnum opus, the film that really shot John Waters off into the stratosphere. It is Pink Flamingos. Now, this film is not for everyone. I will say that right now. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here, because Pink Flamingos is not for the faint of heart. All right? Really prepare yourself for this one. I say that, and I've mentioned this to friends who really thought they've seen it all and really thought they can handle everything. I've had friends that only got through about 5 minutes of this and turned it off. Those that make it any deeper than that have turned it off at a certain point, which, again, I understand. It's not for everyone. Now, this is the second film I saw from the John Waters early canon. I was recommended Female Trouble first, and then they said, if you like Female Trouble, check out Pink Flamingos. You might or might not like it. So, I got it. I got my copy of it. I remember buying this at the exclusive company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It was down the street from my school. I'd walk there all the time and just hang out there because I thought the guy behind the counter was super cute. He was like a really cute hipster guy that like had that flat hair and everything, like the tight jeans. Really was into him. But again, like super straight. Didn't even know I existed, but I would always hang out there. And like that fantasy in your mind is like, one day he'll be interested in this little artsy gay boy. It never happened. But again, we all fantasize, don't we? But I remember bringing a copy of Pink Flamingos, and he said, "Nah, I shouldn't be selling you this, but I'm going to let it slide for this time because you always have the weirdest movies you bring up here." So again, I love that. Enabling our weird interests is what we need more of, okay? Don't be the party pooper, okay? Let people be unique. And I got Pink Flamingos. I paid like $30 out of pocket for this, which is a lot of money back then. And we're putting it in my DVD player, putting it on. My parents were not home. I was so scared they'd come back because it's one of those movies where like even they knew it was bad. Like they'd never seen it, but they just knew I shouldn't be watching it. But I turned it on, I watched it, and I was hooked. Okay, it was so bizarre. Now to sum the plot up for you quickly, Divine plays Bab Johnson, which is an alias for her actual Divine character, and it kind of ties loosely together with Multiple Maniacs, only slightly though, just in like pictures and like advertisements for Multiple Maniacs, like that picture of Divine, like that is for Multiple Maniacs, and it's treated as if this is Divine. Like you think they're the same character again. Maybe it's just like a multiverse thing, because a lot of the same people are in this movie and play different characters. Because all the John Waters players are here. And Divine is a criminal who goes town to town. She like basically holed up in the outskirts of Baltimore, like fully living in a trailer. Like you see the full mirror ball with the pink flamingos, which is where the movie title comes from. Because a pink flamingo was seen as like the ultimate in tacky long decor. Like you were a tacky person if you had a pink flamingo in your front lawn, which is still kind of the case now. Like it's one of those like Americana things that people don't really think about anymore. But it's definitely was looked down upon as like, ugh, the trash that must live there. Like, imagine their taste. So it's like the ultimate symbol of bad taste. May not be the case anymore. I think more people find them ironic now, so it's kind of lost a lot of its meaning. But back in the 1960s and 70s, it was seen as a very trashy decoration for your front lawn. But she plays Bab Johnson, who is a criminal going town to town and taking refuge now in the outskirts of Baltimore. Her adopted son, Crackers, and her adopted daughter, Chicklets, played by Mary Vivian Pierce, John Waters' best friend, who is appearing in a different role because she was like a villain in Multiple Maniacs, but she's playing her loving daughter. Like a lot of the roles get swapped around and flipped around in this, which will kind of confuse you. Just again, abandon all hope. Don't worry too much about the plot. Just watch it, okay? Like, just go with it. And they're going town to town, and like Babs is planning a party. She's planning a party because, well, she does it everywhere she goes. She invites all the criminals she knows, and they have a wonderful soiree. Now, different part of Baltimore, there is a plotting couple, Connie and Raymond Marble, who are a couple of perverts who run an underground ring where they kidnap girls, hold them in their basement, impregnate them from their butler, and then sell their babies that they have to lesbian couples. Like, and they are in a one-sided beef with Divine. They hate her guts. Her name is Mud in their house because Divine is known in the criminal circles as the filthiest person alive. And Connie and Raymond Marble think that title is unqualified for her. It should be theirs. They don't know who this Divine is. Apparently someone told her she was sexy and fly, and in their minds she is nothing of the sort, okay? They're the filthiest people alive. And they want their title back. So they're going to go to any length to embarrass Divine and take back what they think is rightfully theirs. And let's just say they pay the ultimate price for doing so. That's all I'll tell you about the plot so far, because again, it's not really so much of a plot as again a collection of scenes and very, very funny dialogue. Again, What he did in Multiple Maniacs, he definitely heightens. It's our first color film. It's filmed on the same kind of newsreel-ish kind of camera where you didn't have a lot of time for cuts, okay? You had to really, really, really bang it on. That's why a lot of these scenes go on, seems like they go on forever because they did not have the luxury of cutting. So if you did, it had to really count and had to really mean something. Oh, did I mention? Also living with Divine is her mother, Edie, who is mentally ill and obsessed with eggs. Like, if you've seen the John Waters episode of Drag Race from season 7, this is where eggs come from. Edith Massey is Edie the egg lady. She's in a, like, full-on, like, overweight woman inside of a baby carriage who eats nothing but eggs and will scream at the top of her lungs until the Eggman comes. Which, again, like, another thing that doesn't really exist anymore, there was a guy that would deliver eggs to your house. Like, it was a thing, like the milkman. Like, a lot of things in suburbia that they don't really have anymore because of, like, the abundance of grocery stores now. Like, you get eggs delivered, you get milk delivered, all that kind of stuff. Like a bread man, a knife sharpening man, like all these things. There was lots of small businesses that were put out because major grocery chains just kind of, engulfed them. We don't really have those anymore. So it's kind of like another throwback from a different time that, like, they don't have those anymore, do they? Now, I don't want to give too much of the plot away because once Connie and Raven Marble really start fucking with Divine, like, the one thing they do that sets off this chain of events is, in order to show her, they have to gather up information, so they send a spy out, played by Cookie Moeller, who, again, different role swap. She's a bad guy in this movie, and she's a good guy in Multiple Maniacs. She played Divine's daughter in that, which will kind of confuse you. It's like they swap her and Cookie Moeller and Mary Van Pierce swap roles. Like, they played essentially the same character, like an interloping woman that goes in to try and gather information on Divine so that she can feed the information back and get paid for it. And what I love is, like, when you first see Cookie Moeller, she's in a taxi cab, and John Waters mentioned, like, they used to do this before, like, all the time. Like, they take a taxi and then get, like, a few blocks away and then just run out of the cab and not pay the fare. Like, apparently it's really easy to do back then, and, like, you could really get in trouble and get your ass beat for doing that, especially in Baltimore. But apparently him and his girlfriends did that all the time. They would always, like, run off a taxi cab without paying. But it's so weird watching it now because it's so bizarre. Like, Cookie Moeller will just tells him to eat his $1.50 and just, like, bolts it out of the car in high heels. It's funny as hell. I gotta say, it's like these, like, little juvenile delinquent things that, like, John Waters and his friends used to do that he just put in these movies now for posterity so that they'll never forget. And Cookie Moeller is a real hard woman, okay? Like, looking at her, she's fabulous, like, don't get me wrong, but she's always playing the most bizarre, weird characters in his films. And she's got such, like, a hard Baltimore, like, aesthetic to her. Like, this big teased up hair, eyeliner out to, like, her hairline, white lipstick, and the thickest Baltimore accent you can ever muster out, okay? Also, Crackers, her son, is demented. Like, there's a certain scene with Cookie Moeller where they have, they make love, and there's a chicken involved. And that's all I'm gonna say. There is a chicken involved. Like, if you're very squeamish, and if you're very sensitive to, like, animals and things like that, this probably is not the movie for you. Sit this one out, dog. I don't think you're gonna like this one. But there's lots and lots of, like, really sick, perverse things in this movie that you might not be ready for. I'm just gonna say, this is one of those movies, I always get a disclaimer, it's like, you don't have to like this one. And it's not essential liking in order to be a John Waters fan. It might not be for you, okay? It definitely may not be for you. And you might not enjoy it as much as other people do or as much as I do. And that's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna hold it against you. That's totally fine. But it is essential, and it is, like, should be thought of and respected as far as John Waters' canon is concerned, because this is one of those movies that was made to be intentionally shocking. As he put it, it was a movie made for potheads.
Happen to hear about it from some friends who saw it and thought it was absolutely marvelous.
And it was one of the first real uses of irony in film like this. Like, no one was doing this kind of thing with exploitation films, making an artistically ironic movie that was shocking and making fun of exploitation films. And one of the weird things about John Waters' movies is that they never really worked really well in drive-in theaters or exploitation cinemas because they're making fun of it. Like, it was kind of snobbery. It didn't work. Like, they weren't really huge successes there. They were more successful in art houses and traditional theaters, like for midnight showings. That's kind of how they got passed around for word of mouth. When it came to, like, showing this just for the exploitation factor of it, it didn't work. It wasn't as successful as something like a Foxy Brown or Cleopatra Jones or any of those, like, movies that's, like, far cries, like Women in Cages, like those kind of, like, exploitation films you think of. It did not hold the same kind of weight and did not make the same kind of buzz that those movies did. And the reviews on this definitely will crack you up. He ended up using bad reviews on the posters and the trailers of it. like a septic tank explosion. It has to be seen to be believed. It was the start of John Waters getting terrible reviews, but again, even though they're like mauled by critics, they made money. Like this movie got a lot of buzz. And everyone was talking about it. Anyone that was cool was talking about Pink Flamingos, this wild ass movie. And it was made for pothead hippies, and that's exactly who went to go see it.
Fantastic. It's the third time I've been to it. It's an incredible head thing for people. Oh, it's marvelous. Absolutely.
Most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Not to be believed.
Absolutely outrageous.
Like they laughed at the irony of it all because it was making fun of exploitation films. It was showing it was showing sex, but not in a sexy way. It was like the most perverse, outlandish. Like there's actual foot suck. There's like actual toe sucking in this movie. Mig Stoll and David Lochary. The first thing you see of them is like naked sucking each other's feet. Like he was making fun of sex and sexploitation and making fun of drugs and drug exploitation movies and violence in cinema. Like they're making fun of all this stuff. It wasn't taken seriously. They were taking the piss out of it. And that's why they didn't work in actual exploitation cinemas. It garnered a different audience and honestly kind of a cooler audience if you ask me. People that really, really like this kind of ironic sensibility. And John Waters is the only film he did this kind of shock value thing with. And then immediately wanted to switch it because you can't really top this. You don't want to make a career of like being that. So when it came to Female Trouble, he decided, well, Pink Flamingos, we did that. But Female Trouble's got to be different. We got to definitely approach this with more of a seriousness and more of a narrative, which, again, in my video I mentioned, it's exactly what he did. It worked out in the long run as far as like making different films go. Because had he made another Pink Flamingos, it wouldn't have worked. Now, there is a sequel to Pink Flamingos that did get released in book form. I believe the script was released, but like it's never going to get made. He's come to terms with the fact it will never get made, and he's just fine with it. Like he is at that point in his career, he knows he probably will not make another movie. No one wants to give him the big budget to make the movie he wants to make, which is respectable as an artist. Like he's in his 80s now. Like he's he's not a young guy anymore. So he's come to terms with the fact that like he's probably done as far as being a filmmaker goes and is riding that high of like being this respected auteur director, which is kind of like the perfect encompassing moment for John Waters. He went from being the most disrespected to now being a respectable elite and someone that people will take seriously when it comes to talking about cinema because he is an auteur and he has a vast web of knowledge when it comes to underground cinema and all these amazing artists and directors you should know about. Because they pushed boundaries and they broke new ground and they are definitely on the cutting edge and on the fringes and showing a different side of life that I think people need to get exposed to. So definitely, if you're into it, check out Pink Flamingos. If not, I get it. I totally get it. Not mad at you. What into making of this is so fascinating. And like, this is Divine at her most extreme. When you look at Divine as Babs, this is literally the human face did not have enough room for the makeup they wanted to do. Like, Divine purposely shaved her head so she could do this. Like she shaved her hairline back all the way here, like she's balding, so that they could put eye makeup all the way from here to the back of her head. Like she fully committed to this. And when you see some of the perverse things she does in this, like she shoplifts and shoves like a raw steak in her twat, like insane. This is like the tip of the iceberg. And definitely gave Divine the reputation that she had a hard time shaking, eventually worked her way around to making it work for her. And would go on to have like a successful career as a singer in Europe, as well as broadening her horizons as an actor. But again, this movie did haunt her for a while, and she kind of begrudged John Waters for a little bit, but continued to work with him for it. But it definitely did leave a stain on her, especially one scene in particular, the ending, where it became almost impossible for her to shake that. And even to this day, it's one of the most talked about moments of her career. But let me know what you guys think about Pink Flamingos down below. I'm dying to hear your input on it. Again, this is one of those movies where it's like, it's not for everybody. I get it. I like it. I like it, flaws and all, warts and all, okay? Let me know the moment that you stuck out in your mind. RIP my comment section. It's got to get weird. All right, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next one, okay? Bye!
I think John Waters has got his finger on the pulse of America. I think he's got his thumb securely up America's ass.
Well, it's over now. Click my next YouTube video. Like, comment, and subscribe.